It's been another deadly night in the Middle East. A top Hezbollah commander has been killed. The death toll now above 600. The US is continuing its calls for a ceasefire as Benjamin Netanyahu arrives in New York for the UN. We'll be seeing that speech later on. But joining us now is our US analyst, Michael Ware. Michael, Leon Panetta told us on this show early this week, and in these comments that were mirrored by Lloyd Austin this morning, hard to see how this doesn't fully escalate into a wider war. How does this build up compared to 2006 when you were there?
Well, I guess it's funny you ask that because I've just been going back and reviewing the Israeli, essentially royal commission into the Israeli military's operations in the 2006 war. And look, there's many marked differences, but there's some similarities that I found in that sort of royal commission report to what I'm saying now. Essentially, the review found that Israel rushed into the 2006 war without really being ready and without having really a full plan. And that very much strikes me as what's going on now. You know, as we know, they've moved the 7th Armoured Brigade to its northern border. They've moved the 98th Division to its northern border. And they've just called up 2 brigades of reservists. Now, while they're all up there facing off on the border against Hezbollah, they're simulating exercises for a ground invasion. And the leader of the Israeli army told those troops, go get them, boys, keep it up. All these airstrikes are prepping for whether you guys go in or not. So, look, most Israelis are very, very tired of Hezbollah's intrusion into their lives. I mean, 70,000+ Israelis have had to leave their northern villages. That said, 100,000+ Lebanese have had to leave their southern villages. But this seems to be getting ahead. This potential conflict seems to be getting ahead of Israelis faster than I would like to see.
Well, I mean, as we've found out in the show this week already, I mean, Israel's been planning this for years. That's the pretext to all of this. So why would they go to all of this and kind of not go in?
Well, there can be many reasons for that. You know, in the worst case scenario, this is the Israeli government, I would say less so than the Israeli Defense Force, just being knee-jerk reactive. I mean, they're already fighting one war on their southern border. They're fighting a second, smaller scale war on their eastern border with the West Bank and militants there. And what? Now, all of a sudden, they want to start posturing for a massive ground invasion into Lebanon against a much larger force than anything they're currently fighting now. So it does give me pause as to what's really driving these machinations. And, you know, look, as one American military expert said here, the Israelis dropped 1,600 bombs in, 24 hours. If that was us, the Americans, we'd call that shock and awe just before we go in.
Yeah.
But that doesn't appear yet to be the case. The Israelis don't have the forces on the border yet to do it, but they're clearly trying to cause some kind of disruption within Hezbollah to gain a broader strategic advantage.
All right, let's switch topics just to wrap up here. The VP debate around the corner, Michael. Donald Trump speaking at the moment, but that's just what's happening. But as for the VP debate, how do you think this is going to shake down?
Look, this is actually one VP debate I'm going to watch. And I don't think I'm alone.
Do you remember the last one with Mike Pence and the fly? And that was just the only thing that everyone could talk about.
And I'm talking. But really, I don't think anyone watched that debate. We just saw the clips from it. Because let's face it, VP debates generally in a normal election cycle do not matter.
Yeah.
However, this may be the most consequential potential VP debate
Yeah.
in modern history. And as the polls are showing, the more the ordinary swing voter learns about President Trump's partner, J.D. Vance,
Yeah.
the more they don't like him. And the more they're learning about Tim Walz, the more they're liking of him. So this debate won't swing the electoral needle into victory or defeat, but if it shifts it to 0.1% towards one side or the other, that could be adding up to a victory or defeat. This is a weird one.
We'll talk to you about that next week, Michael. Look forward to that as well.